Muy buenas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Volvemos en una entrevista con una mujer que está un poco en todas las bandas. Igual que hace poco estuvimos hablando con David Ellefson, ahora ella está tanto en Ad Infinitum como en The Dark Side of the Moon, que es su nuevo grupo. Y además van a estar este verano los dos en el mismo festival. Melissa, you have loved about what I said. So, can you understand Spanish?
Yeah, I can.
And can you speak Spanish?
Only when it's pure necessity.
Okay, so I want to start asking you why can you understand Spanish? Have you studied in the school or why?
So it's very close to French, I would say, at least for me, for my ear. And I went to Madrid for 3 weeks in a language school in, I don't even remember when it was. It was a few years ago.
Oh, that's nice. I'm from Madrid. I'm in Barcelona now, but I'm from Madrid. So
Oh, nice.
I hope you had a great time.
I did. I
Then
made
in Madrid.
tons of friends and had a good time, went out in town. So, yeah, I had a fantastic time.
So now talking about music. Today we're talking about many things, but the main thing is the Dark Side of Moon. So I want to start with that because the first thing I want to know is the name of the band has caused some kind of problem because there is a very popular album with that name.
Never heard of it.
No, but was it a problem when you started the band, the name to register the name or something like that?
Not that I know. I mean, of course, some people were a little bit confused and were wondering if there was any connection with Pink Floyd, but well, no, there's none. It's just that, what we do is we, beside creating our own songs, we also transform our favorite themes from cinema, movies, TV series, video games into metal songs. So we show the dark side of the songs, the dark side of the moon.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not wrong, everything started as a challenge with hands.
Yeah.
So it's like when you are in a bar and you say, I need to start in that way. Was it like this?
Kind of, actually. So I had been featured in Ding by Feuerschwanz. And pretty much at the same time, Ad Infinitum released, I think it was Unstoppable. I think so. And one day I was checking on YouTube. I was checking out on YouTube the two videos, and I was like, oh wow, there's actually both videos are close to hitting the 1,000,000 views. So I wrote to Hans and I was like, hey, first one who gets the 1,000,000 wins. And he was like, yeah, but wins what?
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? I have an idea. We win a dare. So like a challenge. And when the Feuerschwanz video hit the 1,000,000 first, he wrote and he was like, I win. So I challenge you to record a cover of a Game of Thrones song with me. And I was like, I wouldn't even have done it if, without the challenge. I was like, sure. And so we recorded the cover of Jenny of Old Stones, and then I don't exactly remember how it got in Napalm's emails, but they were like, hey, this is really cool. Do you want to do an album with this? And we were like, okay.
Which was the other part of the challenge?
I don't know, because I hadn't decided. But later on, we made another bet that I won. And I think I probably would have asked Hans the same thing, like to record something with me.
Okay. So Napalm sent you some emails about it for a whole album. So is this a project Napalm's record fault? Or is yours? Who who has more fault about this new project and the album? Because Napalm Records asked you for the album.
They suggested that we do an entire album of this after we showed them Jenny of Old Stones, and Hans and I talked, and we thought it was a fun idea actually, and then we decided to ask Jenny and Morten if they wanted to be part of it, full time, fully committed to the challenge of having this new project, and they said yes.
Well, the whole album is Metamorphosis, which I've been listening to the album a couple of times, and I've heard some stuff from Harry Potter and Vikings. How did you decide the films or the series included in this record?
We had we have this WhatsApp chat, and we were just throwing some ideas and picking our favorites. I think it was just like, our favorite themes, which also included vocals, because this is something that is sometimes difficult. There are tons of great songs from movies, series, and all that, but not tons with vocals. So we were like searching and finding, our favorite series or movies or games, and then, oh, this one has a really cool soundtrack, and this one as well, and blah, blah, blah. And we were throwing all the ideas, and then we picked our favorites.
And well, now the project is real, and you have some concerts. I think they are the next week.
Actually, this week
in Germany. This week.
Yeah.
Yes, because today is 9th. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought it was the 1st of May. Okay, I was wrong. So, are you ready for this?
Maybe. We rehearsed a few days ago. It went well, but it's still a little bit stressful. It's scary. It's a new thing, new songs, new team, everything. So I guess we'll see in 3 days now. No, wait. In 2 days.
2 days.
Oh my God. In 2 days, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and of course it has to be stressful because a part of the dark side of the moon, you are as well the front woman of Ad Infinitum, and you create your own songs. And I'd like to know how is for you this multi-band life, because how can you focus in the right moment to each band? Because I don't know if sometimes you have moments where when you have to focus in both at the same time, and you have to be ready.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky. Depends on the schedule. For example, this year both bands have been releasing music, so it was a little bit of a challenge to follow up with everything and to keep everything in mind, while also being on tour with Camelot during the period of the album release of Ad Infinitum. So sometimes it's a bit tricky, and I have to push back some other projects or collaborations, or to let's say juggle juggle with my calendar differently, and to keep going. But it's fun because first of all, I'm not the only one doing everything. I'm lucky enough to have bandmates in both bands who are very very involved, and that just makes everything possible.
And how difficult is for a young musician as you? I say young because I'm just one year younger than you, so we are both young. But how's for a young musician as you to live in the dream? Because it's very hard, and you have to be with touring with Camelot, with Ad Infinitum, the Dark Side of the Moon, your own project, Patreon, your own website, your own merchandise. I mean, it has to be so stressful because I'm getting very stressed just saying it. So how is for you? Because it is a lot of things to do, a lot of work to do, and I don't know if it is what you want in terms of the amount of effort and the amount of money you get paid because of all of that, you know?
I think the combination of everything makes it possible. You mentioned Patreon. This is definitely something that allowed me to become a professional musician, because when you start as a young musician, young band, the income that you get from your music alone is not enough to pay the bills. So definitely starting Patreon, especially because I started it before the pandemic. I started it 4 years ago, and by the time the pandemic hit, this was a great help. Like, this is the number one reason why I was able to continue to make that much music. And then combining this with two bands, touring, collaborations, and so on, sometimes it gets tricky. Sometimes I look at my calendar and I'm like, okay, so the next few months I have a maximum of 1 week in a row at home. And I get a little bit like, I get anxious because I'm like, oh fuck, I need to I need to I need to, to rest and to calm down and to also have a routine at home. But in the end, I think that being able to keep the rhythm in the middle of all this is what made everything what it is today.
So are you happy with that kind of life? Would you rather another more the classic routine life with your house, with your pets or kids or whatever?
I tried that, and then I changed it for a musician life. I've been working 5 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day in an office, and then making music. And I realized at some point that this was not the kind of life that I wanted to have my entire life career. And I was not feeling at my place because I'm a creative person, and that was the total opposites, because I had to, make contracts, organize meetings and all that. And I really need the possibility to create and to travel and to go to the studio, to be with musicians, but the creative thing is the one thing that I need the most.
But you are creating almost all the time, because for one band, for another band, are you afraid about the inspiration leaves in one moment?
Never did so far, so we'll see, I guess.
Fingers crossed. And you mentioned that Patreon was quite important for you.
Yeah.
To become a professional musician. I'd like to know, because people used to think that musicians on tour are living the best life with luxury everywhere, but if you are just a bit inside of the industry, you know that if you're not a stadium band, you're not living that kind of things. So would you say that Patreon is more important for you than the bands in terms of your economy?
No, because without the bands, there's no Patreon. Because the people who support me on Patreon, they support my bands and everything I create, collaboration and so on. And if I don't create music, then why would they support me, you know. They are coming to the shows. I'm super grateful because this is not just like a transaction. It's really a community. They are talking on Discord every day. I try to pop up every day actually as well, talking about everything. They became friends. They go to shows together. I mean, they are in different countries, obviously, but I know, for example, we have those release shows this week, and I know there's an Excel sheet with who is coming to which show and carpool and all that. So it's really fantastic. And the two aspects coexist, and one could not exist without the other, because I could not be a full-time musician without Patreon at the moment. And therefore, I could not do as much with my bands, but also I would not really have a concrete reason to be on Patreon if it wasn't because I'm making so much music. I don't know if you see what I mean.
Yeah. The thing is, if you do music just for your own, or Melissa Bonny band, the Patreon would work in the same way.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I've never tried that, but I like to be in a band, because that's, you know, at first at Infinitum was supposed to be a solo project, but I just didn't see myself being, you know, the band, and then there's hired guns around me who maybe don't care as much about the music as I do. I really wanted to have a band with people who invest their creativity and inspiration and everything into the band, so it becomes their baby as well. So in that sense, the band is something that is also very important for me. I love making music on my own as well, or collaborations, but it's just something special with both with the Dark Side of the Moon and with Ad Infinitum. Dark Side of the Moon is a little bit more recent, and everyone in the band is also in another band, so it's not our main project. But with Ad Infinitum, Nick, Corby, Adrian, and I, we're working on this together and investing so much time and effort into everything that it's like the project of a lifetime for every single one of us.
Yeah, and as you are in both bands, nowadays for the bands, the merchandise is very important for the money. But there is a huge talk, I'd say, because I've talked with some musicians about that, about the rates of the venues and all that stuff. I'd like to know your opinion, but the opinion of most of the musicians is the same. So I guess it will be similar. But I'd like to know if you think that there is a solution for that.
I don't know, because I don't know. I don't understand in the first place how it's justified that a venue would take a cut on the merchandise. You know, it's not like we arrive and we say, oh, we brought 1,000 people, so we take 10% of your bar revenues. You know what I mean? So I don't know what justifies anyone taking a cut on the merch that we paid, that we sell most of the time. Sometimes the venue has someone to sell the merch, but most of the time when we're on tour, we have a merch person, so it's not like we need someone to sell it for us. So, I mean, I don't want to point the finger to anyone, but every time we are on tour, and it's not everywhere, it's not every venue, not every festival, but every time we're like, okay, so tomorrow we have to give, I don't know, 25% of our merch sale for no reason. It's like, okay, whatever. We have no choice, but we do it, but it hurts.
And how important is for your bands the merch?
Sorry?
How important is for the bands the merch?
Honestly, that's our main source of income on tour, because we are a relatively new band. The fee that we get is not covering the costs. And for example, last year we toured and we were lucky enough to share a nightliner with another band, but the cost of the nightliners were so high that if we hadn't sold merch, nightliner, crew, transportation, like everything we had to pay, we would have been in a very bad situation. So we're very grateful that people are buying merch. And it's a little bit weird because now people know that a cut goes to the venue. So they're like, oh, I would rather not buy merch there and buy it on the website. But when we don't sell merch at all, it's not 75% that we get, it's 0%.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like it's a tricky thing.
Yeah, because when you are on tour, people want to buy the merch in the show, not in the website to get
Exactly.
it some weeks later. And you've been talking about this about that tour when you were sharing with Bacha Babies.
Yes.
And I was in the show in Barcelona. Congratulations, because it was. I don't know if the venue was completely full, but there were a lot of people, and I'd like to know how was that tour for you, because you were touring with bands like Amaranth and Beyond the Black, and Butcher Babies, as I said, but the sound of your band is more similar maybe to the Amaranth or Beyond the Black that Butcher Babies. I was talking with Jennifer a couple or more months ago about maybe there is something like a new modern heavy metal scene nowadays, and I'd say that bands like you or Beyond the Black or Amaranth are in that movement. Do you feel that, and even more because you are in many bands, and you are in Europe, living the scene and the tours, and you've been touring with Camelot. Do you feel that there is a new movement on heavy metal in Europe?
I feel like it's been evolving already for many years, but I think that maybe now in Europe, people are taking more risks. I think it's been established for a while in America, for example, but now I think people dare more modernizing their metal. Also because, at some point when things have been done and redone, you need to bring some new elements into it. But a few years ago, you would easily get the comments, the nasty comments online if you would add some modern elements to metal. Now it's more welcome, or let's say accepted.
Yeah, but well, sometimes in Spain, sometimes you find people that is like, no, that's not heavy metal because it has electronic sounds. It's like,
Yeah, or depends on how you sing. I've been called so many times a pop singer, and I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm just a singer, and I use some techniques.
yeah, absolutely. And you talked before about you changed your routine life, your classic life, for the new musician life. But you were touring with Amaranth last time. So how is that kind of combination for you? Because you are dealing with your personal life during your during your work life,
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Because I mean, I don't like to talk about this a lot, but modern.
A bit.
So how did you deal with this situation when you are working on tour?
Well, it's fun. It's even better to have him around because it's never fun when we're apart for a month or two. So it just makes the thing even more funny because we can share anecdotes and stories, and it's also like I felt like that was the first time I didn't have the post tour depression because we went home together, so we could still talk about the tour.
So your whole life is music, and this summer you will be with both bands playing at Leyendas del Rock.
Yeah.
Uh, how will you deal with that? Because you have to take care of your voice for both shows. I think it's one show one day and the next one
Yeah.
the other one. How have you prepared this summer tour?
Well, it's pretty easy because, like you said, it's one show one day, the other show the next day. So I'm more worried about the fans who will have to hear me twice, but
I don't think that is a problem. No, but I mean, maybe when you are on tour with one band, you are in a mood.
Mhm.
But is it difficult for you to change the mood when you are on tour for one band to another?
Well, it's the first time I do it, actually. I mean, it's gonna be the first time I do this, so I guess we'll see. But what's funny as well is that, okay, so at Infinitum is there, Dark Side of the Moon is there, but also Amaranth,
Yep.
Feuerschwanz, Dynasty. So it's like a big family reunion.
Yeah. You have you did the whole deal with the festival.
Yeah.
And well, the last questions of the interview, I'd like to know which are your favorite albums all time. It doesn't matter the genre, and why.
Oh my God. Okay, the first one that comes to my mind is, and I will explain why. It's Silverthorn by Camelot, because this is an album that changed something for me. Because when I heard it, I decided to learn how to growl, because I discovered the song Sacrimony, and then I discovered Alyssa, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. I want to know how she does this. And I learned how to do it because I heard that song and because I heard her doing it. So discovering that song kind of influenced everything until today. So this is definitely one album that stays a favorite for me. It's difficult. I don't even know.
4 more.
4 more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have maybe Riot by Paramore.
And why?
I love it. This is one of those albums that I can listen to at least once a week or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I love the attitude of Paramore. I love this band, actually. Johan by Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know what? Next time, ask me the question half an hour before, so I can.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. There's tons of albums. There's no like one album that I listen to all the time, but I love tons of albums and tons of different genres, because I love to listen to different soundscapes and different productions. So yeah.
And I guess it depends of the time or the mood as well, because sometimes I like to listen the blackening of from Machine Head, but sometimes I like to listen Monglow from Avantasia, which is totally different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the last question, I want you to remember which was your first show in the crowd, and tell me which band was and how was the whole experience for you.
My first show with a crowd.
With in the crowd.
In the crowd. Oh
In
my
the
God,
crowd.
that's easy. That's very easy. I don't remember how old I was, but it was Pink.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first concert ever. So I was.
Where were you?
It was in Switzerland at the Paleo Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember that I was so hyped about being there that I was filming the whole time. I think I was like, oh my God, this is happening. This is so stupid. I don't know if I was filming the whole time, but I remember I was filming a lot. Probably it was a long time ago, so it was not with my phone, it was with a camera.
With the camera, I remember that shows. I was in many of them.
Yeah. And I just remember that, I was just, it was like the experience of of the time for me, because like first concert ever.
Can you remember which year was it?
Let me
More or
check.
less.
Maybe I can find it online actually. Pink Paleo Festival. Oh, I think it. Oh my God! I think it was 2007.
2007, so 93. So 14 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So the half for your life.
Yeah.
So awesome. So, well, Melissa, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure. You have a wonderful set. You look like a streamer or YouTuber with the camera, with all the light and everything.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if I will be at Leyendas del Rock, but if I finally go, I'll let you know to see both bands and
Cool.
to talk there.
Sure. Well, I hope you have fun if you come, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And one last thing, you said you were studying in Madrid just a week, or 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So give us out to the Spanish fans in Spanish.
Oh, I knew you
Just
would say. I shouldn't
just a
have
few
said
words.
that. I don't think I can do it on the spot like this. It makes me super nervous.
Just a few words.
No. Honestly, this is. I'm starting to sweat. You cannot see, but my hands are starting to sweat. I'm like, I don't even know. You know, if I'm in the middle of Spain, I will tell you a story.
Okay.
One day, when I was in Spain, I wanted to visit. I think it was the Gardens of the Prince or something like this. And I went there by train, and then I don't know, a taxi, walk, whatever. And then once I was there, I wanted to come back to the train station. There was no taxi, nothing. And I was stuck, and it was a long walk. And the only thing, or the only person around me, was a guy with a horse and a horse carriage. So I somehow used my best Spanish to tell him that I needed to go to the train station, and he brought me to the train station
like a
on
princess.
a horse carriage. I promise you, that's the most epic thing I've done in my life, I think.
Oh, it is. I wish to live sometimes something like that. It's like a movie, like an American movie or something like that.
Yeah, it was fun. But that's what I'm telling you, when I'm in an emergency situation or after a few chupitos, I can.
Okay, okay. So I know if I go to Leyendas, I know how to do.
God.
I know what to do. So not a shout, but which one is your favorite Spanish word?
My favorite Spanish word. No, wait, another one. Oh. No,
it can be a dirty or bad word.
It can be a bad word?
Yeah. Can
Cabrón.
be joder or cabrón.
I don't know.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
Actually, my Twitch nickname is El Cabrón.
Oh.
So I like it a lot. So, well, here there is a cabrón who says goodbye. Well, thank you very much again, and hope to see you if I go to Villena, to Leyenda, as you and the band.
Thank you so much. See you there, hopefully.
So, well, Melissa, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.